What's going on, YouTube? How's it going? Let me just start by introduction. This is my first video. I plan on making at least one video a week. So here's an introduction. My name is Jonathan Cabrera. I am a full-time realtor. I also have a drone business, so I'm a certified drone pilot. Excuse me. And I also have a real estate investing business. So I have 3 businesses going on pretty much at the same time. And this, I guess I want to call it a podcast or whatever the case may be. But the point is, I want to help people out. I feel like there's so much negativity in the world today that there aren't enough people who genuinely care for somebody else and how they are feeling, what they're going through, and things like that. So here's the reason why I'm even decided to start this. I've always been told that I'm a good listener, that I give really good advice, that I don't give my opinion based on a side. And the reason why I definitely don't do that is because I like to look at things. So Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, always said that there's 3 sides to everything. Whatever story it is, whatever opinion, there's always 3 sides. There's heads, tails, and then there's the middle. Once I learned that, I tend to stand in the middle and make a decision on that. Be it you are in the wrong, the other person's in the right, I'm in the wrong, I'm in the right, whatever the case may be. But I tend to look at it from the middle aspect. So with that said, I'm creating this because, again, I feel like there's so much negativity in the world. And forgive me if I'm not looking directly at you. I'm actually driving, and I've been wanting to make this video all week, but in my head I've been thinking about how to do it, what's the perfect time, what's the perfect setting, and I got wrapped up into that, and it was not gonna get done. So I decided, you know what, I'm on my way into the office now because I gotta print some papers out. You know what, I'm gonna just do the first one in the car. So here it is. And there's a bunch of topics that I want to talk about. So I want to talk about like depression. I want to talk about holding grudges. I want to talk about being sad, what you're going through at that moment, you know, or that certain space where you're kind of just bummed out and can't get over it. Look, I've been there. Like, I've been down and out plenty of times in my life. Plenty of times. And there's a bunch of times where I literally thought that I could not get back up. Like, I just thought it was done. It was over. I'm not gonna move on. I've contemplated suicide plenty of times, for sure. So I'm putting this out there. I'm letting you know, look, I'm just like you, and I've had these thoughts. I've had these feelings, and I want to help you. I want to help you literally get through whatever it is that you're going through. I want to be the guy who will listen to you and what you have to say. So whatever it is you got going on, if you want to participate or want me to help you with what you're going through, or even give you my opinion, subscribe first, give me a like, subscribe, and comment below. I genuinely want to help you. So I don't really have a topic to speak about today, or right now rather, because like I said, I kind of just said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just do this because it's never going to be the right moment, the right setting, the right lighting, the right anything. It's just not going to happen, and I'm never going to put this out there, so I'm going to do this now. I think the topic that I want to talk about today is bottling things inside. And the reason why I want to talk about that, and it just came to my head, is because I do that. I do that a whole lot. I've done that my entire life. And it has been genetically, some may argue this, but it has been, I think, genetically implanted in me because, number one, my mother's that way, right? My mom, she does not voice her opinion. She doesn't state how she feels, everything. She bottles everything inside. And she actually doesn't even explode either. I do that. After a certain time, my bottle pops and that's it, I explode. My mother doesn't do that. She bottles everything inside, and it's a horrible, horrible, horrible thing to do, myself included. My father, he also bottles things inside up until he decides to drink. Now, I'm not going to say that my father's a full-fledged alcoholic. I don't think he is. But I will say that he has some characteristics of an alcoholic. And the reason why I say that, and again, whatever I'm saying, if you have an opinion, please comment below and let me know, because I would love to open up that dialogue. My father is a weekend drinker. So what he does is Saturday comes right after work, you know, stressful day or stressful week. He comes home with a 12-pack, and by the end of that, about an 8th bottle of beer, he's done, drunk. And that's when he opens up and just spews everything out. So this is why I say that I genetically have that inside of me. Now, I bring that up and decide that it's going to be the topic for me to speak about today, because it's been happening a lot to me, and it's been brought to light by some friends of mine. Now, I'm married. I've been married now, I'm going on 2 years, so July 18th will be 2 years. Now, my marriage, even prior to being married, the relationship as a whole has been a rocky one. Mostly, or a good portion of it, I would say, I'm not going to say mostly, but a good portion of it has been because I like to bottle things inside and don't like to voice my opinion and or express how I'm feeling. So, just recently, my marriage pretty much was on the brink of getting divorced. One of the reasons why was because I didn't voice my opinion, and it got to the point where it was just horrible situation for both my wife and I. And we got into a really heated argument, to the point where she kind of, she kicked me out, and then asked me to come back, and we spoke about it. And we spoke, pretty much she spoke her piece, I spoke my piece, and now we're in a better place. And part of that better place is me doing my part in speaking to her, voicing my opinion in a, how do I say it, in a good way. So voicing my opinion in a good way, nothing bad or coming off with an attitude and stuff like that, and expressing how I'm feeling. Again, not in a bad way, just, hey, listen, I'm feeling this and that because of whatever it was that you did. I'm just letting you know this is how I feel, and I think we should go about it this way to kind of remedy whatever it was that I'm feeling, and vice versa, right? So the key point of it is just to be receptive to the conversation, because that's one of the things that we both had was with that. If we would hold things in, myself included, because see, most of you, if you are like me who holds things in, you hold things in because you are, I'm not gonna say you're afraid. Well, yes, I will say that. I'm gonna go there. You're afraid of what the other person's gonna feel like. You're afraid of the argument. You're afraid of what could happen or how the conversation's gonna go. See, because before all of that, before you even decided to have the conversation, you had already played it in your head how the conversation is going to go. So of course it's going to go that way because of the law of attraction. Now, I'm not going to go into that. If you know what the law of attraction is, good. If you don't, maybe I'll make another video about it later, or you can Google it or YouTube it and find out what the law of attraction is. So that's what that is, right? You played it in your head. You already assumed how the situation was going to go. Law of attraction says that's exactly what's going to happen. So that's exactly what happens when you go and decide to have that conversation. Now you get discouraged. You're just like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't have this conversation because it's going to go south the moment I start speaking about it. So you start to bottle things inside. Now, that was the issue that I was having with my wife. Every time I decided to try to speak to her or bring something up, she would always go on the defense. Now, that's also an assumption, but it's also the way it's happened before in certain other conversations. And that's what kind of led me to not want to not want to have those conversations and to bottle everything inside, because I didn't want to have that defense. It was just kind of, look, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm going through, and I just wanted to let you know. But the moment, I did that, she would, oh no, it's not me, or what about you, and this and a third, and that would spark an argument. So I didn't want to argue. And then, and I'm gonna assume that most people, yourself watching included, are that way. Like, you just don't want to argue because you know that how the conversation is gonna go, and it goes from, because if you have an argument and both sides are receptive to the argument, then you're really not arguing, right? All you're doing, you're having a discussion, right? But when the voice tones and the speech volume are increasing and increasing and increasing, now you're going into an argument. But you're first of all, you're in the argument already. Second of all, as the voices start to progress, one or both parties are not going to be listening to each other, so you're not going to get anywhere. So bottling things up inside doesn't help anyone. If anything, it makes you more. It brings you more in a bad place than what you are. Because number one, you can't get out what you want inside. Like, you're just carrying this weight. And if I can give you my opinion and you guys are receptive to that, I don't think, first of all, I don't think you should really care about what the other person thinks or feels. Granted, I'm not saying that you should go ahead and say, hey, listen, I don't like what you just did. That shit pissed me the fuck off. Excuse my language, I'm sorry if any kids are watching it. It pissed me off, and I don't want to deal with that. No, don't do it that way, because you already coming from a negative place. Instead, you might want to say, hey, listen, the thing that you did the other day, I kind of didn't like it. It made me feel this, that, and the third. Made me feel uncomfortable, or whatever the case may be. And I just want to let you know that because of how I felt. So moving forward, maybe you won't, do something like that, or you'll be conscious of, how you approach whatever the situation may be, right? So you want to come from a positive place, because you don't want to start that argument. Like, you don't want to get to a negative place. You want to have that conversation, because maybe you're not seeing it from the other person's side, right? Because what if the other person's having a bad day and they just so happen to accidentally, take it out on you when they didn't mean to take it out on you, right? So you want to be just come from a good place. Like, you want to come from a good place in your heart when you want to have that conversation. At the same time, I'm not telling you also to wait until you are there. No, you adjust the situation right then and there, but it has to be from a positive heart. You have to have a good heart with good intentions in the conversations. Like, you don't want to be a negative person having these conversations, right? You don't want to have that in your head. Oh yeah, we're gonna have an argument, so I'm not gonna do that. Or I know it's gonna get into argument, but whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna tell her how I feel, or tell him how I feel. No, don't do that. Look, come from a positive place, coming from a good heart. I don't know where it's gonna go. I'm gonna be open-minded to whatever the case may be, or however it's gonna go down. But if it can, or if it would lead to an argument, then you let yourself know, look, once I see it getting there, I have two choices. Number one, I can tell the other person, look, I can see that this is getting into an argument, which I'm trying to avoid and not want to do. So let's just take a minute. You go kind of, digest what I just said or cool off for a bit. Let's come back and then we can have this conversation all over again. Or you keep your cool. Let the other person vent and blow up. Like I said, maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they just have so much crap going through their mind. And I tell you that because that was me. That was me. Even when my wife brought stuff up, I would blow up. And it wasn't because, you know, at that moment I might have had things bottled up. No, it was just that in that day, I just had a very bad day. Very bad day, and I just didn't want to hear none of that stuff. Right? So you have to make sure you keep your cool, because that's the most important part. The other person can lose it, fine. But if you keep your cool, if you keep that positive mindset and just kind of, you know, take control of it, you'll be all right, man. And you'll be able to handle the conversation. You'll be able to get off your chest what you need to get off your chest. And you need to do that, because the more you bottle things up inside, man, the more frustrating your life gets, the more harder it gets. The harder for you it is for you to think, the harder it is for you to like focus on whatever it is that you're doing, and you just kind of have no motivation to do anything. So this is why you need to just get what you have to get out. Just say it, you know, and stop bottling things inside. It's not good for you. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for the relationship. If you're in a relationship, it's just not good. And you need to just express how you feel. And on that note, I'm going to end it. I'm just arriving to the office now. Look, I hope you guys like this. I'm gonna be doing this more once a week. If you guys have a topic you guys want to go talk about, you guys are going through something, you want to talk about it, you know, like, subscribe, comment below. I love to give you guys some advice and some help with whatever it is you're going through. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next week, and I hope you guys have a good week. Take care, guys.